welcome back to part 4 of my switch from Intel to Silicon with the help of the excellent SE1 by Sonnet. This is housing my RME card and the spare USB-C port I've connected to my legacy USB devices. Everything works perfectly, and I've been most impressed with the fact that it doesn't even matter whether the laptop's on first, whether I've powered up the SE1. It doesn't matter which order you do things. Everything just works perfectly. So yeah, really hats off to Sonnet for making such a reliable product. And here you can see all the connections of the ADAT ports and the USB to the hub. And my ADATs go to my converters over here. And the great thing about the RME is that with the ARC TotalMix, I can store like a stereo preset, or I can store my Atmos preset, which enables me then to control by grouping the faders all the outputs at the same time, which is really handy. And in my studio here, these are the first 24 outputs of my sound card, and I use these fly leads to get to the amps of the speakers for when I'm working in Dolby Atmos Surround. Here's a track written and produced by Lee and Badgery, which I'm mixing for Dolby Atmos.
Let's bring the colors of our time. Time defrost, edge of the world. We're so close in edge of the world.
But that's not the real reason why I needed to switch to Apple Silicon, because I could do all that on my Intel Mac. The main reason was that now Apple Music is only really supported in the latest operating systems, and I heard rumours that it actually supported 7.1.4 playback. So I was very excited to use these as reference tracks when I'm doing my mixes. But the first problem I run into is my Raydat is showing us 36 ins and outs. Now when I try and play a surround track, I'm just going to use this track called Hush by the Marias. You can see it's actually delivering just 5.1, which was quite disappointing. So I then tried to use loopback, and if I set this as my sound output, again you'll see it's still only 5.1. This is actually the correct output mapping for my speakers. However, if we quit Apple Music and relaunch, whilst we're on the 16-channel virtual audio device, you can see now we get the full 7.1.4 playback, which is fantastic. It's very odd that I have to use this loopback to make that work. Let's pause that a second. Now the weird thing is, if I now switch to my normal sound card and carry on playing, okay, it's in a different order because of the way the configure speakers is set, but don't worry about that for now. But we've still got the full 7.1.4 playing. And if I was to quit Apple Music and relaunch Apple Music, you can see it diverts back to 5.1. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Whether, I mean, I've talked to Apple about this and they're kind of pointing the finger at RME. However, because I've only got the 2 streams, it should be showing up just as a 16 channel and work. Because I think what happens is when you launch the music app, it checks with your audio devices to see how many channels you have, and it appears that if you have over 16 channels, it for some reason diverts back to 5.1. But apart from that, it's been fantastic to be able to hear commercial Atmos mixes so that I can compare them with my mixes to make sure that the standard is correct. So to conclude this video, this SE1 by Sonnet working over Thunderbolt, it's absolutely fantastic. Normally in stereo I'm running on 32 samples buffer, which is awesome. And hats off to RME. I've had this sound card 14 years, and with the help of Sonnet, it's still going strong. Catch you next time.